Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie, and the Russo brothers have done it again. They have released a couple more cryptic Avengers Doomsday teasers in rapid succession. Look harder. They did this just a little while ago, posting really weird, really mysterious stuff, just telling people to look harder, zoom and enhance as much as possible. And it kind of seems like each new teaser that they post is more mysterious than the last. Like, that's the vibe they're going with this year, which actually seems like it's working because it's driving people crazy. After spending way too much time staring at these, we have a pretty good idea of what's actually going on, what the Russo brothers are teasing, because it's connected to a big Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Doomsday event that they're doing next week. Infinity War and Endgame are important again for Doomsday because the Russos said that they made Doomsday to be more of a direct sequel to Endgame than a sequel to like the general Marvel Phase 4, Marvel Phase 5 movies, as if you could have skipped all the Marvel movies and TV shows after Endgame and just watched all the Avengers movies and then still be able to go to the theater and follow what's happening with all the characters in Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, and you wouldn't be lost. We see what you're doing there, Russo brothers and Kevin Feige. We see what you're doing. When you look at their first teaser they just posted, it was literally just this green color swatch, which people thought of Doctor Doom instantly. There were all kinds of theories, people making jokes about the Russos because they've done stuff like this in the past, almost like it was them butt dialing an accidental Instagram post, causing everyone to overanalyze, zoom and enhance, like, there's got to be something crazy here. But if you look at the actual hexadecimal code for this particular shade of green, it's not just a Doctor Doom teaser. The numbers are 7/18/2026, causing people to think the Russos are using this Doctor Doom green shade of color to tease that they're going to be releasing some Avengers Doomsday thing of some sort or doing something special on July 18th, 2026. There are a couple important dates that we know about in July and later this year, obviously. Avengers Doomsday is scheduled to release in theaters December 18th, so the 18th is important. And normally I would say this July 18th date could be a trailer release date, but Comic-Con is literally the next week right after that, the 23rd to the 26th. And Spider-Man Brand New Day is also releasing July 31st, the week after Comic-Con.
Things are still a little tense.
And I think it makes more sense that they attach the Avengers Doomsday trailer to Spider-Man Brand New Day when it hits theaters. So they either don't release the trailer to the week that comes out, or they do a big Comic-Con panel and they release the Avengers Doomsday trailer at Comic-Con the week before Spider-Man Brand New Day, like almost a week before, a little bit less than a week. When you actually click on their photo, they tagged a bunch of things in the photo in particular. The reason why it's Marvel Studios, the Avengers, Robert Downey Jr., Agbo Films, and South by Southwest London that they tagged is to tease their special Avengers event they're doing next week at South by Southwest London, like literally a couple days from me posting this video. At that event, they're doing two special Avengers panels. They're both on June 2nd, so we don't have to wait that long to actually hear what they have to say about it. And then after that second panel, they're doing a special showing of Avengers Infinity War as part of the lead-up to the re-release of Avengers Endgame in theaters this year before Avengers Doomsday. And remember, they already said that they're going to be re-editing Avengers Endgame to add a bunch of extra material to help it better set up and tease lead into Avengers Doomsday, like an extra post-credit scene. My early theory on that is they're literally just going to put that Captain America teaser they released earlier this year with him putting his suit in the chest and him picking up his son. They're just going to put that at the end of Avengers Endgame because it's literally like the beginning of Avengers Doomsday. When you rewatch that teaser, all the other teasers, they really do kind of feel like post-credit scenes. So like, why wouldn't they just attach that to the end of a re-release to Avengers Endgame? So a lot of people saw these new Avengers Doomsday teasers the Russos were making and thought they might be releasing some extra Doomsday stuff at the panels they're doing next week. Then right after this first cryptic post, they released a second one that was a little more clear. The symbol is the Latvian flag, Doctor Doom's symbol in the comics and in the new Fantastic Four movie, so this will probably be his symbol in Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars. If you don't read the comics, it's just the Latvian symbol that became his family's coat of arms. That's why he uses it as his symbol. The Von Doom family is a noble family with a coat of arms. He was born into the ruling family of Latveria. That's why he is the ruler of Latveria. Kevin Feige and the Russos have also verified that Robert Downey Jr.'s version of Doctor Doom was born Victor Von Doom. He's not just a Tony Stark variant. He was meant to be a totally separate character, not connected to the concept of variants. But they are kind of trying to have their cake and eat it too.
Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
So the movies will address why he looks so similar to the 616 Tony Stark that all of the Avengers characters know and think died, but in Avengers Doomsday, I don't think that he ever actually takes the mask off, or if he does, it's only briefly, because in all the CinemaCon trailer footage that they showed off recently, he never took the mask off, he always had the mask on. But everyone post all your Russo brother teaser theories in the comments below, like what are they doing, what are they teasing here, what's actually going on, are they going to be releasing some new Doomsday stuff in the next couple of weeks? There was also a separate new promo of all the 3 crashing logos of the Avengers, the X-Men, and the Fantastic Four, but they're meant to represent the plot of the movie, with the movie revolving around these 3 particular worlds, universes colliding, which is why they're circular symbols like worlds are colliding. The 616 main MCU, the Fantastic Four's 828 universe, and the X-Men universe. And in the CinemaCon footage, it's how Thor, in particular, gets to the X-Men's world and the teams start fighting because an incursion brings both worlds into close enough proximity that during the trailer footage, Thor is able to use the Bifrost to teleport himself from the main MCU Earth in like the new Avengers Tower or whatever you want to call it. It's basically Val's new Avengers Tower, to the X-Men's world as they start to fight. Normally, the Bifrost only works inside the main MCU universe. It won't take him across universes, so the incursion is the way around that, giving Thor an Infinity War type of entrance in the movie, but instead of Wakanda, where he shows up out of the Bifrost, it's the X-Men's world at the X-Mansion. It would not be an X-Men movie if the X-Mansion doesn't get partially or mostly destroyed during it at some point. Then probably one of the other biggest details is Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom. So in the trailer, it's actually him at the beginning saying, something is coming, something we may not be able to deter. Before this day is done, we shall be faced with an unthinkable decision. And he is talking about the incursion that's happening in the X-Men's universe, with them having to decide whether or not they want to destroy the other planet to save their own world, which is something that the Illuminati dealt with in Jonathan Hickman's Time Runs Out. Most of the talk has been about what he sounds like as Doctor Doom, what his accent sounds like. It's nothing like his Tony Stark. And we actually have a very good example of what he sounds like from way back when he was promoting the first Iron Man movie. So this is an example of him using a thick Eastern European accent, and his Doctor Doom accent will be close to this.
Tony Stark,
Iron,
the most
whatever.
famous mass murderer.
How do you feel?
It is crazy to think that he already kind of did a Latvian accent back at the very beginning of the MCU. Originally, he actually screen tested for Doctor Doom in the original Fantastic Four movie, but that was in the early 2000s. He didn't get the role, obviously, which was for the better. Like, I think they made the right call. He would have never been cast as Iron Man if that hadn't happened, and that was a generational casting. He was foundational to the creation of the MCU. Doctor Doom's armor looks just like it does during the promo art that they were showing off at CinemaCon. It's like the previous promo footage that we saw last year, just they changed the belt buckle, but otherwise it's the same basic armor. He'll look just like this in the movie. And speaking of Chris Evans, one of the other big Chris Evans moments in the trailer was when he was wielding Thor's hammer again. So it was when he's reunited with the new Avengers, with the MCU heroes again. And part of the idea is that when Thor is giving his big rally speech saying, we're going to need a miracle, they actually cut this with a separate scene, like completely different scenes in the movie, of Chris Evans, Captain America, showing up again saying, hey pal, with Thor not believing that it's his Steve Rogers. Like, no, it's not you, can't be you. And in order to prove that it is him, he calls Thor's hammer to his hand, and it's meant to be a comp to Vision doing something similar during Avengers Age of Ultron, where he just randomly picks up Thor's hammer to convince them of his positive intentions. There's a little bit of footage of this that is leaked out, and you notice in the footage he has a much longer beard and longer hair, unlike the Avengers Doomsday Steve Rogers trailer that they released early this year. Meaning that for him, more time has gone by between the events of that trailer and what's happening with him in Avengers Doomsday. This is where we get to Kevin Feige's interview, the Russo brothers' interview during CinemaCon, where they talked about why it was so important for them to bring Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. specifically back, and why they were foundational for the plot in Avengers Doomsday. This is also connected to the footage that they're going to be adding to Avengers Endgame to make it better set up Avengers Doomsday, connect those movies the way they talked about it. So I think this confirms that the new footage they're adding to Avengers Endgame is all about setting up the idea of the incursions, why they happen in the first place, and why what Steve Rogers does leads to an incursion causing Doctor Doom's motivation in Avengers Doomsday, and why he's so pissed off during that film. So part of the idea is that they're making Chris Evans' Steve Rogers' character critical to why Avengers Doomsday is happening, the incursions are happening. Not that he's the only person that's responsible for all the incursions, just that he is one of the people responsible and mostly tied to what happens with Dr. Doom's character before the events of Doomsday. So remember, during Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, John Krasinski's Reed Richards is telling Doctor Strange that jumping around to different realities, different timelines, leads to incursions.
The larger the footprint you leave behind, the greater the risk of an incursion.
Incursion?
An incursion occurs when the boundary between two universes erodes and they collide, destroying one or both.
There have been a lot of rumors that they're using the Loki subplot in Avengers Doomsday to explain Steve Rogers' family and that Loki put them in the Fantastic Four's 828 universe because the TVA was going to destroy the timeline that he created when he went back to the 1940s to live with Peggy Carter because it wasn't supposed to exist. And the whole idea is that him jumping into the past and staying there created a branch timeline, and the TVA wanted to prune that. Everybody post all your reactions in the comments below, and if you think you spotted anything special in the Russo brothers teasers that I didn't point out in this video. There's going to be a bunch of stuff happening in the next week. Hopefully the Russos do release some new Avengers Doomsday stuff after their panels, or at least some sort of teaser. Whatever they wind up releasing, of course I will do videos for it. We also might be getting the full Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer. That might be Marvel's big thing next week. Not Doomsday, but Spider-Man Brand New Day. So if they do release a trailer, of course I will do videos for that too. Many videos. All the videos. Make sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss that. Everybody click here for my other Brand New Day videos, lots of Spider-Man videos, and click here for all my Avengers Doomsday videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.